Today we are going to take a closer look at a really cheap and budget-friendly summer freshie. This is a staple in many fragrance collections, and it's called Nautica Voyage. A full review of this fragrance is next here on Nordic Fragrance. Hi, I'm Tommy and you are watching Nordic Fragrance. Welcome. So today we are going to take a closer look at this fragrance here, Nautica Voyage. It was released back in 2006 and it quickly became very popular because it was a really good and well-smelling summer freshie, and it had a really affordable and budget-friendly price as well. So many people, fragrance collectors and ordinary people alike, have this fragrance in their collection and use it heavily during the summer months. So is Nautica Voyage still that good? Should you get it in your collection if you don't already have it? Or should you just skip it and get something else instead? We'll find out about that, but first let's take a look at the presentation of the bottle. So Nautica Voyage comes in a pretty simplistic bottle. It's a transparent bottle, glass bottle with a plastic cap on the top. It says Nautica Voyage on the front here. The cap itself sits pretty tight so you can hold it in the cap, but the cap is cheap plastic and not that heavy in by itself. The sprayer, a little bit on the weak side. It's okay, I guess, but it could have distributed a little more, in my opinion. So there is really nothing special about the presentation of Nautica Voyage. Even the box looks pretty cheapish, but you pay a very low price for this fragrance, so that's to be expected. So let me try to explain the smell of Nautica Voyage here. What you get is pretty much a green apple kind of fresh aquatic scent with a really nice salty accord to it. That's pretty much what you get from start to finish with this fragrance. It's really fresh, really summery, and somewhat pleasant smelling. There are not too many notes going on in this one, so true frag heads may find this one a little bit boring, but for the ordinary people, the common people that smells this, it smells really good to most people, I think. This is a very non-offensive and mass-appealing fragrance in my opinion. Now personally, I want my fragrances a little bit like I want my pasta, a little al dente. I want some resistance, something to chew on, something that just doesn't go down too easy. Just a little something that sticks out. And that's usually the problem with most summer freshies. They are just too smooth, too lean and too mass appealing. They don't contain any resistance in them at all. They are not al dente. Luckily for Nautica Voyage though, it has two things going on for it that makes it stand out a little from most summer freshies. Firstly, it got a really beautiful salty accord to it. One of the best salty accords that I have encountered in any fragrance I have collected. It immediately brings your mind to the ocean and the sea, and you are imagining yourself sitting on the beach at the ocean and the waves are crashing in slowly. It's a salty breeze coming from the ocean. It's just summer in a bottle really. Secondly, Nautica Voyage got a little sharpness to it that really pierces through and makes it a little more intense than most other summer freshies, and that's also a good thing. That sharpness can however be a bad thing as well, because some people complain about getting headaches from this one, especially when over applying it. So even though this fragrance seems very mass appealing and inoffensive, please don't over apply it, because you may give yourself or people around you a headache with it. But in general, Nautica Voyage is a very pleasant and non-offensive summer fresh smell. You get green apple with a salty accord to it, that's about it. So now let's move on to the rating of Nautica Voyage. So what do I think about Nautica Voyage? Well, as I mentioned before, I like my fragrances a little al dente. Nautica Voyage is a good, solid and certainly cheap summer freshie. But to my nose, there's nothing much special about it, and I certainly have a lot of fragrances in my collection that smells much better than this one. Not to say that this one is bad, but I would put it somewhere slightly above the average fragrance in my collection. So I give it a 5.5 in smell rating. As always, I have also asked my girlfriend about her opinion about this fragrance. And as always, she blind smelled it, thought about it for a little while and said, I think this is 7 or maybe 7.5. She also agreed with me that this is a very pleasant and good smelling fragrance, but certainly not one of the better ones in my collection. And even though she really enjoys the summer freshies, she didn't think that this was one of the better ones actually. So she gave it a 7.5 in smell rating. So next, let's move on to the strength rating of Nautica Voyage. And as with so many other summer freshies, the lasting power of Nautica Voyage isn't that great. It's because of the light molecules in summer fragrances. They evaporate pretty fast and the fragrance is pretty intense in the beginning but doesn't last too long. That is certainly the case with Nautica Voyage. It comes off really strong and intense and you think that this is a fragrance that might last like forever. But that only lasts for about 1 hour, then it's starting to fade away. And after about 3 hours you can still smell it but not that much. And after 4 to 5 hours it's completely gone on your skin. So the performance of Nautica Voyage is certainly not great, but compared to many other summer freshies, it's certainly not that bad either. Depending on how much you apply of it, you get somewhere between 3 to 5 hours out of it, with a pretty good projection for the first hour, 1 hour and a half. After that it starts to fade away and becomes closer to the skin all of the time, until it's eventually gone after about 4 hours. So performance is not that good, projection is not that good, sillage is however really good. You leave a very nice scent trail behind you for the duration of the fragrance's life. But I can't give Nautica Voyage more than a 3 in straight rating. Next up is the versatility rating of Nautica Voyage. So Nautica Voyage is certainly a pleasant fragrance that is suitable for all ages, I would say. But it's mainly used in the warmer seasons like late spring, summer and maybe early fall. It can be used as an office scent for sure, because it's pretty inoffensive, but the lasting power is not that great, so it won't last you a full work day. I wouldn't recommend Nautica Voyage on a date night or a night out, because it lacks the sweetness and seductiveness in it. It's just a fresh, pleasant smell overall, but it's not that versatile really, and I give it a versatility rating of 4. Lastly is the price rating. And the lower the price, the higher the score. We are all looking for those really great and still inexpensive fragrances. And Nautica Voyage is certainly a budget-friendly alternative. You shouldn't have to pay more than maximum 25 euros or $30 for a 100 ml bottle of this fragrance. And considering that this is a really well-smelling fragrance for the price point, this is a really budget-friendly alternative for any collection if you want a really nice summer fragrance. So I give Nautica Voyage a maximum point of 10 in price rating. So, would I recommend anyone buying this baby, Nautica Voyage? Both yes and no. Mainly no though, because there are so many other great fragrances on the market and I don't find this to be that special really. Yes, if you want a really cheap summer fragrance, and if you are on a budget and just want to smell decently good, then this is a great fragrance. There are not many fragrances smelling this good in that price range, I can tell you that. So if you are on a budget, then this is a great alternative. But on the other hand, if you want a really good smelling fragrance, then there are so many others on the market that smells way better than this one in my opinion. So to sum this up, Nautica Voyage is basically, it's smooth sailing all the way. Mass appealing, fresh, budget friendly, but nothing special, and the lasting power of it isn't that great. If you are looking for a summer freshie, I would recommend other fragrances like Aqua Amara that have a little more character to it. It's a little more expensive, but it's got more character in my opinion. Versace Dylan Blue, much better than this one. There are numerous summer fragrances nowadays that actually are better than Nautica Voyage. Maybe back in 2006 when this was released, it was one of the better summer fresh fragrances, I don't know about that, but it certainly became popular for a reason. However, today, too many other great fragrances on the market in that category. So I would not recommend you buying Nautica Voyage actually. This was my review of Nautica Voyage. I hope you enjoyed it. And please guys, don't be afraid to help me grow my channel. Click the subscribe button, the like button, and share the videos wherever you can. This was all from me, Tommy here at Nordic Fragrance. Until we meet again, take care of yourselves.